This is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster. And this is a review of the Orville, Blood of Patriots, the latest episode of the Orville here on the March 7th. So usually as typical of a TNG episode, we have a little spoilers, obviously, to tell you about the story. Usually when they introduce a character who was never seen before, it's usually a villain. So it tells you right away this story is not going to have a what a twist moment, really, because from the get-go, there's something off about it. This episode is a similar to the plot of Chimera a little bit. If Locarno was always a bad guy and never really redeemed. Anyway, but if it's not the same, though. Yeah, because he's a good guy now, he's redeemed, in my story. In this story, though, they made the bad guy the bad guy. So basically, the Krill decide to make peace with the Union. The Krill are the bad guys. They're sort of space. They never really say they're vampires. No, they don't. But they're like night flyer kind of things. But yeah, there's a peace treaty, and it is muddled by the appearance of the dude, the Irish dude's friend, who is comes on the ship with his daughter, who is mute, and they don't check either of them out physically because they refuse, and somehow they're allowed to do that. Yeah, so we know something's up to begin with, and something doesn't smell right, as they say in the story. And the security lady, who is the replacement for the other one, her name is Talia, I think, knows there's something up. The newcomer is said he was on a prison ship. He escaped by a shuttlecraft. The girl, the Krill accuse him of destroying 3 ships. Somehow he's able to do this, destroy the 3 ships. Thousands of Krill died. So the premise, I guess, is basically that you have the guy it's sort of a war is hell kind of story arc, a sort of parable of Iraq, I guess you would say, the Iraq thing. Somebody in a prison camp comes out and does stuff similar to that war, the Afghan war, a little bit too. There's a kamikaze run at the end, but they just didn't want to call it suicide run. They kind of did, but they kind of didn't. They went back to World War II and called it kamikaze, but it's not really. It's supposed to be a reflection of, is this bad guy a terrorist or not, basically. Yeah, and so he's another white guy, so they can avoid any issues with that. There were white terrorists though back in the day. There were some in them. It's not like that is just a thing that's ethnic, but they're terrorists. They're fanatical people in any group, really. And I think that was the point of the episode. Is they're a fanatical person who was acting weird. He messes around in engineering. He's one of the officers, so give him a uniform and mess around in engineering. Nobody seems to like him. They all suspect there's something off about him, and and there is. Spoiler. This is sort of a review, recap kind of thing. Yeah, they discover it, and the guy goes to the bearded guy goes to the captain. I don't remember these names, First he goes to the security chief lady, and he tells him about this weird plot about this. He does show the girl Planet of the Apes at one point, but he goes to this. He goes to the security guard, and he tells her that the friend guy wants to steal the shuttlecraft. So they arrange for him to steal the shuttlecraft, but they don't let the bad guy in on it, so they can find out what they're up to. So it's basically that TNG episode where they stole a shuttle. Yeah, and I think there was a Voyager episode about that too. I don't think they did it on Deep Space Nine though. Just Voyager and the other one. So you can steal a shuttlecraft, yeah. Very silly and kind of story. But not funny really. Not really an amusing episode. Sort of a serious episode. Very TNG. Very. There was a gag about Mercer and alcohol. There were some that you can't handle it. There were some jokes here and there, but they were really subdued. It was just a TNG episode. So goes on the shuttle with the crazy friend guy who reveals that his plan's going on. Meanwhile, the security chief lady discovers that the girl is actually some kind of sleeper agent who has like explosive blood or something, and that's how he was able to destroy ships, as he was using her explosive blood to blow things up, and he's stolen canisters from the engineering so that he can like blow the shuttle up and destroy the Krill ship and crush the peace envoys, and that's what's going on. So there are spoilers in this review, so yeah, will he escape? You can watch the episode and find out, but I don't want to give everything away. But yeah, it was your standard sort of whodunit kind of thing, using the second rule of your typical mystery, typical thriller mystery, and then the first rule is there's like 4 different plots of the mystery. It's the second one. It's the person you expect, the newcomer you don't expect, or it's the other two are the completely bait and switch, and then the third one is it's a fourth party who you didn't know at all, comes in last minute. The person was innocent. So so in this case it was the second rule. Blood of Patriots. Clearly the title was implying that one person's patriot is another person's terrorist. Which I believe was also done in a couple of TNG episodes, including the Burrowers and Gatherers one with Utah, Riker fell in love with. Also, there was another one with a group of terrorist guys on a planet that were fighting these other ones, and they had captured Dr. Crusher, and there was an episode where they had her in Star Trek, and they were and one of them said, "Your George Washington would have been considered a terrorist by the British," something like that. Paraphrasing. Yeah, rebel. But yeah, so it was an interesting abject lesson type of thing. Something that the Discovery has lacked in that department. They make it look a little sillier, ironically, and darker at the same time. I don't know much about Discovery this season because they don't. And I'm going to wait for the DVD to come. DVD Blu-ray box set of this season of Discovery. I'm not going to watch any of the short treks or anything like that. I want to wait. Hopefully come out. Anyway, so this was my review of the Orville Blood and Patriots. Don't want to give away everything. Good episode. Solid episode. It's what Discovery should be doing. And although derivative of some Star Trek episodes, it was derivative of some good ones from later in the show. 4th season and 7th and 6th season. I think 1/3 season one was similar with the shuttle stealing thing. But they do take a lot of risks with their characters, like dangling on the precipice there. But so wonderful.